To thrive, need to have a safety issue addressed also. We need to have safe street, clean street, and we need to address that so that they will feel comfortable to come back to our district and be able to thriving in our district. And as mentioned, we need to streamline the permit process. We need to do all that. And I, for one, will intend to do it if I'm so honored to serve in the City Council. And again, we have graffiti problems and all that. We need to clean it up. And all that will benefit the small businesses.
Mr. Brown, same question.
I'm also a small business owner here in the 10th District. I've been around for a very long time, and the actual proposal I actually sent to Michael Bai, who is Herb Wesson's chief deputy, would create 1,000 green jobs. I didn't receive a response. There's over $210 million in electronic waste here in the city of Los Angeles. How many people, by a show of hands, have unused cell phones at their house they don't know what they're doing with? They're just sitting around. Really? What about an old computer? Where do you guys take that stuff? Exactly. Well, there's programs here in Los Angeles, and we could set something up also for the city of Los Angeles to raise 1,000 green jobs. See, the problem is we need to create another way to bring more jobs to this city, okay? We're doing different things. They're patching the roads or what have you, but we can create more city jobs that will bring people, get people willing to stay here in Los Angeles. You know, you can open up a small business and hope it's really successful, but if you bring the city, if you feel like you're part of the city by creating city jobs, you'll stay. You'll love it here. And $40 million annually, it can be raised for the city of Los Angeles.
Mr. Wesson, may I repeat the question? What do you consider to be the major struggles facing businesses in our community? And what are your ideas for strengthening the community's economy and job growth?
Okay. Well, anyway, I agree with most of the other members on this panel that we do need to streamline, make it easier for businesses to stay in business and get whatever permits and license that they need to get. I also want to agree with one of the other members on this panel, the importance of creating jobs for the future, and that is green jobs and biotech jobs. I'm proud that when I was on the council, I found out every time we build a building in the city of Los Angeles, a new building, it has to be LEED certified, green building. But how often do we as a city government build a new building? So I came up with a plan to retrofit all of the city buildings. That's over 1,000 buildings, green jobs. We're training community people and labor to work and to do these jobs. The first project is going to be in the district that I do represent at Vineyard Rec Center, and I think that they're going to be 15 online this next year, and about 30 the year after that, and it's beginning to grow, and we're beginning to get green jobs. We need to focus on good middle-class jobs of the future.
Ms. Shaw.
Thank you. The city of Los Angeles is not job friendly. It's not friendly toward people who have jobs because they put obstacles and roadblocks in your way. And in many cases, unfortunately, people who are here illegally are getting jobs more than American citizens. And I just think that's wrong. And because you're not able to go And because you have leadership that's not business friendly, that's why a lot of businesses are leaving and talking about Save Our Future. There's an organization on Adams and 11th Avenue called Save Our Future. And according to Charlotte and her husband, Wesson ran out $1 million program that they had in the community because some people were complaining, but they didn't hear both sides of the story. And now the program is now in Bernard Park's district. So we literally ran a $1 million job where they were bringing grants and services to an after-school program for young adults. and now the program has been disbanded. So I believe that we need leadership that's going to be honest enough to at least hear both sides before you kick $1 million grant out of the district. That's not right.
Mr. Brown, your question. The 10th district has many architecturally significant buildings and communities. What is your experience and position on historic preservation efforts in our community?
I mentioned in the open that Los Angeles, there's homes here that's been around since the early 1900s, and preserving our district is extremely important. We all live here, and I think it's very, very, very important that we take care of our roads. It's ridiculous. It's impossible to go to work between 7 and 8 a.m. And like my father was on the way over here. He got in a car accident, and he actually hit a pothole, and which is kind of sad, but that's the way it is here in the city of Los Angeles right now. I think it's very important for us to preserve our roads, and also take care of our districts, and our actual, just our districts. And like Herb Wesson himself, he lives in Wellington Square. Wellington Square has been asking for a while for the community to be gated off. They've written to them, they've called them, they've done everything they can, and they actually need a new leader to make things happen in the city, to make sure this area stays preserved. And we have to start here. This is the most important thing. I'm glad to see everyone here, but it starts here.
I'm going to ask a follow-up just to get a little bit better at the question. There are several HPOZs within the 10th district, including one that's being considered in Jefferson Park. Do you support the creation of HPOZs?
To be honest, no. And let me tell you why. It's important that we leave things the way they are. Oh, yeah, excuse me. I take that back. I apologize. I do support the HPOZ because it's actually leaving things the way they are. You need to leave things the way they are here in the city of Los Angeles. We've been around since 1900, and homes need to stay preserved. Like in Hancock Park in CD4, they get a tax break. Their total property tax are now 0.25% if you leave your homes the way they are. I don't know what it would take to bring that to CD10, but I'm willing to try to figure that out, and I think that's extremely important.
Mr. Kim, same question.
Yes, I'll be in favor of the granting HBOC status to the Jefferson district. I totally concur that we have a whole bunch of beautiful buildings. We have new buildings, but we still need to keep these and preserve the flavor of our neighborhoods as they are. These are really pride of our district. LA is, District 10 is, as I say, it's a LA within LA. And then it's a very diverse, and it has a beautiful areas, enclave areas we need to preserve. We need to give a tax benefit. We need to partner with the private enterprises so that they'll have incentive to preserve the characteristic of our neighbors. Thank you.
Ms. Shaw, same question. The 10th district has many architecturally significant buildings and communities. What is your experience and position on historic preservation efforts in our community?
Well, I know that we were going to do some remodeling on our home, and we did. I do believe that there are parts of communities that have historic areas that need to be maybe upgraded in some ways, and I think it's an opportunity to hear what the people have to say exactly why they want this to be done. So I think we need to be open about that. And then when we talk about keeping things the way they are, where there's a lot of gated communities coming up within the district, and the reason why they're doing that because they're scared and that they want to branch out from other areas. So when you have different areas with gated communities, that takes away the historic value too, because we didn't have those back in the day. So I believe that it can be upgraded to bring improvements for the areas that we have learned different things about the qualities and buildings. And a lot of buildings, they just don't make them like they used to. So there's like a balance in bringing it modern at the same time, upgrading the nice historic areas in the community, because a lot of times that brings people to come to areas to see the old structures and just upgrading them. But as far as putting gates up in the community. I do believe that people do that, and that's not being historic about the community. So I think we need to look at that and then hear what the people have to say, because I don't even remember hearing anything about, well, let's have open dialogue. So I believe that town halls and open dialogue, just to hear both sides of it, to see why you want to change and what exactly do you want to change. But I do like old structures being upgraded.
Mr. Wesson, same question.
Well, it's simple. We have a responsibility to maintain the integrity of our residential areas. And yes, I support them. Since I've been the councilman of this district, we've put in 3 new ones, and I'm helping with the one on Jefferson. No matter how hard we try, we are not going to be here forever. And we have a responsibility to those that follow us. Plus, we have some buildings that were built by renowned or designed by renowned architects, and I think we have a responsibility to preserve that. That's why I'm not just saying what I will do. I'm standing on the record of already creating 3, and we have another one in the hopper. And even though our district geographically is not as large as some of the other districts, we may have the highest number of HPOZs.
Mr. Dragon, same question.
Well, I agree with preserving these historic communities as well. What I would add to that, I don't disagree with anyone here. I agree with that we have to preserve that. But I think just overall, in terms of the process for any kind of development, we need to have a process that is getting the community far more involved, a lot more open, a lot more transparent, because what you'll have many times is the community will find out about some kind of development project right in their community, and they're saying, we were never notified about that. So that is something that has to be added to the mix, because it happens far too often. We have to have a greater notice time. We have to include everyone in the community, all of the different organizations, and that has to be involved as well.
Mr. Montoya.
I agree that we should also preserve our historic districts in the district. One of the areas I'm particularly fond of is Victoria Avenue. If anybody lives there, good for you. I'm jealous. You know, back in the day it was called Professor's Row because, you know, everybody from USC or UCLA who was a professor there used to live on Victoria Avenue. So, and I love the old architecture. I love the big houses. They just don't make them like they used to, is the quote here. As for historic preservational zones, I think if the majority of the community wants to organize, get together, and, you know, petition their city council member to organize, why not? I mean, the point is be transparent, be open, let the people in the community know. As Mr. Dragon said, you know, not enough people know what's going on, and I think that should not be an excuse. You know, I applaud the efforts of people in the Jefferson Park area, West Adams area. I was at a neighborhood council there the other day, and they're very enthusiastic about their preservation status, and I like to see that in the community. So I am for preservation in the community.
Next question, this one will be for Mr. Wesson. And you guys are doing a little on time. This is a loaded question, so if you need a little bit more time, I'll give it to you. The City of Los Angeles is facing an unprecedented annual budget shortfall and long-term structural deficit. What are your ideas to increase revenue, decrease spending, and or make city services more efficient? How would you suggest that the city government and services be streamlined?
Okay, anyway, that's a good question, and one that within the next few years we're definitely going to have to deal with. One of the things that we as a city are going to have to do, we need to include the neighborhood councils. We've got to determine what kind of city we really want to be. We're going to have to reinvent ourselves. We're going to have to streamline things. We're going to have to look at every department within the city of Los Angeles. We're going to have to look at combining departments as ways to save money. And one of the things that I was almost successful with, and I just didn't quite get it done, and Lord will and the people of the district will, and I'll be able to do it this time, is to create some kind of tax system, not on the people, but on the billboard industry.